What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another Turbo update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as we stand right now, Turbo has had another very nice bounce since my last video. You can see that it's currently at a $171 million market cap. Now, to be clear, it is still down from the highs of my last video, but during my last video, it was around 140 million, 150 million. We had a very strong breakout from this falling wedge, though. 2 Turbo videos ago, I made a video called Insane Discount, and I was saying that because Turbo was in a textbook falling wedge, and you can see that we have clearly broken out from this falling wedge. And in that video, Turbo was around 94 million. So if you guys bought at that time, congratulations, you guys are definitely in nice profit. And simply from a technical analysis standpoint, this is a clear falling wedge breakout. The level that I'm watching though right now still remains the same, 0.003936. Roughly in that range. I would love to see Turbo reclaim this previous local high. If Turbo can reclaim the previous local high, then that absolutely could be the start of an uptrend. Regardless though, this has been a nice move. If you look at the market as a whole though, you can see that the market is having a nice little bounce. Although actually right now it is getting sold off a little bit. Bitcoin's at 91,957. Ethereum's back down to 3,148. Just a few hours ago, Bitcoin was around 93,000. But again, in the grand scheme of things, this is a nice bounce. It was just a week or so ago that Bitcoin was down to 80,500. And I'll show that a little more in my technical analysis later in the video. But if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index right now, you can see that we are at 27, which is fearful. We are no longer down in the extreme fear range, which is interesting to see. And it makes sense because the market's bouncing, but there still has not been a lot that has changed. If you guys have been watching my content, you know that I've never agreed with being in extreme fear. I don't think that's made any sense from a technical analysis standpoint. We are still clearly holding a higher macro low, which again, I'll talk about later in the video. So I never agreed with the extreme fear, but I also don't agree with this much of a bounce. We haven't gotten back above key levels either. Now, if we take a look at the meme coin market, what was absolutely insane in my last video is that Turbo had higher volume than Pepe. That is something that you are rarely ever going to see in this market. If you look at Pepe as an example right now, it has 376 million in volume. If you come down here and you look at Turbo, it's down to 99.6 million. And I will say, this is still fantastic volume for Turbo. If you look around at a lot of other projects around it, Turbo is way higher volume. And you can see that Turbo is actually up 44.2% in the last week. But again, obviously that's not even close to Pepe's volume at this point, which is to be expected. Turbo had that initial huge spike up, which caused a massive volume spike. But after price action starts to stabilize a little bit, the volume is going to fall. If we click on Turbo, you can see that a lot of the volume is coming from Binance. The Turbo USDT pair has 13.39%. But if you come down here and you look at HTX, HTX also always has great volume, 9.42%. In general though, there's a lot of nice volume distribution. None of these exchanges are just getting gapped. Now, if we take a look at the Turbo X account, you can see that they're currently at 112.2k followers. And they actually just posted 2 minutes ago while I'm recording this video. Just a little toad on a big adventure. Join us as we explore new horizons together. Go ahead and give that a like. But as I kind of talked about in my last video, there still hasn't been any major news for Turbo. And I know that that kind of surprises a lot of people because Turbo had a strong move. But that's kind of always what I talk about is just when you have a strong project, it doesn't take a catalyst for it to break out. Oftentimes it can just happen from technical analysis or it can just happen for whatever reason. There comes a point in time where community and just project strength is going to win. So if you believe in a project long term and it has shown signs of having major strength, then there's a good chance it'll be a good investment when the market bounces. And obviously Turbo was one of the largest movers when the market broke out. I will say though, Bitcoin technical analysis is very important right now, which is why I'm just going to hop straight into it. So even though the market has broken out right now, we are still not back above key levels. I want to be clear on that. The main level that I'm watching is still quite a ways away. If you guys look at Bitcoin in the daily time frame, I am watching this yellow line right here. This is the 200-day moving average. Now, to be clear, moving averages do move. So I am not entirely sure where the retest will eventually happen. But as we stand right now, the 200-day is around 109.5k. So I will not truly be bullish on the market until Bitcoin can reclaim this level. If we come up here and we see a rejection, we see a bearish retest, then that will not be a great look. There is a good chance that we would see more downside in the short term. That said though, this is the daily time frame. I'm also going to continue showing you guys the weekly because I love the weekly time frame. And I love a lot of the larger time frames in general. If you look at the weekly time frame, we are still extremely oversold. This is very important. I've shown this so many times in all of my previous videos, but if you look at the stochastics as an example, extremely oversold. What happens pretty much every single time we're extremely oversold? Extremely oversold right here, very strong breakout. Extremely oversold, very strong breakout. And I don't need to just continue showing you guys this because I've shown it in pretty much every video yet again. But go and just look through Bitcoin's history at the times that we've had extremely oversold stochastics. What usually happens? We have some sort of a bounce. And if you just look at the stochastics right now, even after this bounce, they've hardly moved. We are still very oversold. And then if you just look at the RSI as a whole, we had hit levels that we had not hit since 2022. The last time Bitcoin was this oversold on the RSI was when price action was down at $16,000 a coin. And then you also look at price action and you can see that it's swinging up into a higher low and the RSI is swinging down into a lower low, which is a strong Class A bullish divergence. And not even just that right there. You can also draw it from this right here, higher low into a lower low. There are two very strong Class A bullish divergences. And then you come over here to the monthly time frame and we also have bullish divergence. Same exact thing. Price action is swinging up into a higher low and the RSI is swinging down into a lower low. And exact same as the weekly time frame, you can also draw it for a second time right here. It is rare to see bullish divergence on this large of a time frame. So oftentimes that is going to lead to a breakout. And you can see that we also have done a very good job of holding above the 21 monthly moving average. This candle had broken beneath it and we liquidated a ton of long positions. However, we reclaimed the level when we closed. And as of right now, December is a bullish hammer. So we'll have to see how this actually closes though. This candle will not close until the end of December. But all in all, I still think the larger time frames look very good for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin can get a strong breakout, then I think that'll be very good for a project like Turbo and just the overall market. But that's about all I have for you guys today. As always, if you guys are interested in market updates, Turbo, and just getting into projects super early in general, then I always recommend you take a look at my Discord. And if you guys are interested in this kind of community, then you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to have you guys in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Turbo. If you enjoyed this content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.